Mấy gì kìa kìa hơn còn cái đó lớn rồi nằm ở trong các người này muốn cái tiền bên này tại thì nó cái bạn món biết sẽ
nên mà phải được
So in start, today we can discuss about performance measurement as a balance scorecard. So this is not a big lesson, the performance measurement part. Mainly we have discussed about the balance scorecard. So before moving to the balance scorecard, first we need to know what are the performance measurement techniques that we have. But there are no calculations related to the performance measurements in your content. The balance scorecard will be tested in exam. So we'll quickly move from this to balance scorecard. Right. So from next week onwards, I will start the lecture by 12:50. That's another fair right? What are the three values of technical managerial? Dinaikkan kilo membantu lagi. Pragmatic interpretive way, critical socio-economic feedback, technical managerial way. What is technical managerial? Calculative practices and managerial functions. Then critical socio-economic, pragmatic interpretive. Okay, क्या नंबर? Pragmatic interpretive. What is pragmatic interpretive? तो एक जुड़ा था गाड़ने पास हो मैं जुड़ा. Yes, pragmatic interpretative way. Yeah. Focus on management accounting practices. So there are 3 researchers for focusing on management accounting practices in 3 different ways. One is focusing on what? They are focusing on problems and try to solve those problems by using different solutions. Okay. Second group of researchers are focusing on the changing nature of management accounting, how management accounting has changed. Third group, theories and practices. There are 2 different things. They try to create a link between those theories and practices. Right. So then we learn about evolution of management accounting. It has 4 categories: stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Stage 1, main focus, cost determination and financial control stage. Stage 2, providing information for what? Providing information for planning and controlling activities. Then stage 3. Stage 3 के main focus से हम क्या? Focus on reducing the wastage. Then final stage, the current stage, creation of value to the business. Right. Then मतलब दिया करना होती है. Exam में तो इतनी वो महाल देखो क्या बोला. Then we discuss about cost management accounting practices. There are different practices we have discussed. Then today we have to move the performance measurements. Right. Now tell me, how we say that organizations are performing well? What are the indicators we have? The सामान्य organization का पहले perform करना किया नहीं होना के देवल पर financial statements. In financial statements, what we have? Profit. Right, okay. But can I ask you a question? Yeah. Right. So when we are identifying the organizations performing well or not, so you have mentioned the few areas. So you have mentioned financial statements. Then what else? Ramana, profits. Ramana, how we can identify the organizations are performing well or not? Yes. Profits. Ramana. Yeah, for the point. The older contribution to the society. Okay, good. But it's brand, okay, brand value, yes. Huh? Okay, brand, society's contribution, but it's huh? Okay, ratios, we can calculate ratios and see. Right, okay, so there are different things that we need to consider. So, most of the answers you have given, there are two categories. So, we can divide it two mainly financial performance measurements and the non-financial performance measurements. Those profits, assets, or the financial statements, then share price, right? So all those things we can consider as the financial performance indicators or the financial performance measurements. Then the other things that you have mentioned, like the contribution to the society and the brand value. So those things we can identify it as non-financial performance indicators. So by just only looking at the financial performance indicators, we can't say that the organization is performing well. Can profit value එකක් බලලා කියන්නේ නැහැ මේ organization එක හොඳට perform කරනවා කියලා. ඇයි එහෙම කියන්නේ? Profit ගන්නවා නම් සාමාන්‍ය organization එක perform කරනවා. Organization එක හොඳයි කියලා කියන අපිට profit වලින් විතරක් බැරි. How we generate profits? Normally we generate profits by utilizing our assets, right? Your assets use and profit generate. So sometimes some organizations can use their all the assets and generate huge profits for one particular period of time. But if you are not checking the available assets for them to generate income in the future, we can identify that even though they are performing well in this particular financial year, in future they won't be able to perform well. They don't have much assets, right? So, the profit value we can't say that organization is performing well. And by just looking at the financial performance indicators itself, we can't say they are performing well. We can say that they are financially performing well. Right? There are organizations that are financially performing well, but overall performance is not just financial performance. Organization that perform karna kiyane financially perform karna kiyala vidarak නෙමෙයි. Right? So there can be some organizations they are financially performing well, but they are not looking after their employees properly. Right? They are not going to give any kind of a thing to the society. So there are no new learning things for the employees in the organization, right? So even without customer satisfaction also, organizations can generate profits in a short run period. Customers are satisfied, no profits that are පුළුවන්. Just think about අපි මොකක් හරි පොරු marketing campaign එකක් ගෙනියලා අපිට පුළුවන් ලොකු profit එකක් generate කරන්න only for the shorter period of time. Then once customers identified that this is not a proper place, then again we don't have profits. So therefore, when we are saying the organization is performing well or what, to decide that, we have mainly considered two major things, that is financial performance measurements and the non-financial performance measures. So this particular slideshow represents only the financial performance indicators. I'm not going to discuss in detail in this slideshow. So we'll quickly discuss this and move it to the next one, because in your curriculum, you have non-financial performance measurements Because then this, the financial part. Because financial part you might have discussed in the financial reporting or even financial accounting itself, you might have discussed these things. Right? So these are some of the financial performance measurements. There are more than that. Right? So these are some of the things that we do. Right. So performance measurements we can divide into two, financials and non-financials. In financials, these are financial indicators like the return on investment, residual income, and economic value added, benchmarking, and non-financial performance indicators. This is the main performance indicator currently that we have. But there are some more performance measurement tools as well. So if we take financial indicators, so these are the ratio calculations. And what is benchmarking? Benchmark करना है. Sometimes we can get this benchmarking as a financial and also non-financial as well. Benchmark करना क्या होगा? We benchmark our organization with some another organization. It means we are comparing with another organization which is performing well. Let's say the market leader in our industry. So we can compare with them and see, compare them how we do our practices. Right? එකම ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකේ ඉඳගෙන අපිට වැඩිය කොහොමද ඒගොල්ලෝ හොඳට කරන්නේ මේකෙන් කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝම කොපි කරනවා කියලා නෙමෙයි right this is not just copying we try to learn something from our competitor right if competitors are performing better than us we can watch them and how they are performing well right what are the practices that they do then by looking at that if we are improving our organization that we call it as the benchmark. It is some kind of a comparison with the industry leader, right? So then balance scorecard we'll discuss in detail next. So financial performance indicators. So as I earlier mentioned, the financial performance indicators mainly focusing on the financial performance, not any other areas. So there are many things that we need to consider. Those things are representing in a balance scorecard. We can see there are 4 perspectives. Under those 4 perspectives, we can see the financials and non-financials. Right. So these are some of the ratios that we generally calculate. The gross profit ratio. So these things you know clearly. How we calculate the gross profit ratio? We calculate the gross profit over revenue, and we can check how much we have earned as a gross profit. It means the direct profits from the revenue. And the net profit margin, mainly how much we have earned as a net profit after deducting all the expenses from the revenue, how much is the net profit, right? Okay. Then current ratio and quick ratio also we calculate. Right? Current ratio and quick ratio. What we identify from current ratio? Ratio से वादा first case current ratio ने आपको पता current liabilities settle කරන්න current assets කොච්චරක් තියෙනවද right? What is the industry average of the current ratio? Normally, industry wise, it can be changed. Industry is not a extendable. Two net. But generally, we say that to settle liabilities, we have to have 2 assets. Liability assets generally. But it can be different from different industries. Then quick ratio, in the quick ratio, we remove the inventories from the current assets. Right? So the individually, if we just calculate the current ratio, then we can't get a proper idea. Normally, if we are calculating the current ratio, we have to calculate the quick ratio as well. So, somehow, in current ratio, we have a healthy current ratio. But when we are going to quick ratio, here we are removing all the inventory. Our current assets are in local portion inventory stuff. This is not good, right? Situation we can recover. But when it comes to this, inventories from then it will be difficult to recover the liabilities. Cash right? Right. Those are the ratios that we have. Then the return on investment. So return on investment, ROI is usually used to monitor the performance of one particular investment center. It means if we do one kind of an investment, from that investment, what is the return that we are getting? Right? Investment taking return. So this is the general way of calculating this. Out of the investment that we made, we have to identify how much is the net income or the profit. So this we can calculate not only whatever they can calculate. For example, just think. So now you have invested 4 years of your time here. Return on investment calculate करला तो मैं select करें. You might have different options. So before coming to SAP campus, you had different options to select. Out of those, you have selected SAP campus to do your studies. It's got a return on investment value. Generally, you might have done, right? Or maybe 100%. So what are the costs that you have involved in this? Return on investment calculate that one. Right. Cost here. Cost 4 years, 10 Okay, let's say generally 1 million. 1 million. How much investments? Return on investment calculate that. What else? Apart from that 1 million cost fee, what you have invested here? Right. Time. So time value is a little bit difficult. So compared to that 1 million cost fee, it might have larger value. Time में काफी पैसे कितने होंगे value का रखना है कि नहीं सब 1 million के लिए अगर आप इधर कितने ना 1 million बिका ही किलो ताऊरा से traveling cost. Then that beverages were refreshments are what I don't know for your home extra Nikan in the Villa Nikan calculator. Cost fee idea, the two Korea, either way or anything. Calculator bar, traveling canonical bar, massivity. If you divide the cost fee, calculate the cost fee divide the divide like a master calculate I think around 20 or 22,000 amount will be coming for one particular bar. Cost fee divide total so that is the investment that you are made, right? ඊට පස්සේ බලන්න ඒ ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එක රිටර්න් එකක් හම්බ වෙනවාද? එහෙනම් හම්බ වෙනවා නම් තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ මෙතෙන්ට එන්නේ. එහෙමයි මේක රිටර්න් එක ගන්න විදිය එක එකනා වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. right? හැමෝටම ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එකේ විදිය රිටර්න් එක හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. The way you study and the way you get results and the way you perform in the organization will decide whether you are getting a proper return on investment or not. Right? Okay. So we can apply into any situation these kind of things and see whether we are getting a return on this particular investment or not. So this is the general calculation. So you can see here if we invested 500,000 and if we are getting a profit of 50,000, so return on investment is 10% and here 25%. So this is the example. Right. A new company has non-current assets of 460,000, which will be depreciated to nil on straight line basis over 10 years. And then current assets will be 75,000. And annual profits 30,000. Return on investment measured as return on net assets. So here they say in this we have to calculate the return on investment measured as return on net assets. Net assets වලින් කොච්චර return එකක් දෙනවද කියලා තමයි මේකේ බලන්න. Right. So calculate the company's return on investment in year 2 and year 6. ඉක්මනට හදන්න ගන්න. So you have to calculate the return on investment in year 2 and year 6. Right here, so return on investment is measured as return on net asset, right? Net asset, sorry. Return here, if we take return, they have mentioned 30,000 for each and every year. So here, 2 also 30,000. And year 6, then 30,000. Then the company has non-current assets of 460,000. So here we have to get the net assets, right? Non-current assets is around 460,000, and which will be depreciated to nil on straight line basis over 10 years. So the taking 10 years that then per se, cover the depreciation to get around 446,000. So then, so this is 2 years. Then we have, since it is a straight line method, we have to remove the depreciation of 46,000 into 2. So if we take here also the same thing, 460,000 minus 46,000 into 6. So that is non-current assets portion. Then we have to identify the current assets. Net current assets will consistently be 75,000. So you have to add here 75,000. That's it. Right, now we can get that. I think here. And here. 'Right, next we have the residual income. So just keep in your mind these things are there, but no need to do any calculations here. So residual income is also a measure of center's profit after deducting a notional or imputed interest cost. Right. So here we calculate residual income profit minus charge with the capital employed. And economic value and those same kind of thing. I think this one you might have done calculations in business finance. This is how we calculate weighted average cost of capital and the finance charge. So in economic value method, we identify the net operating profit after tax minus capital charge. So how this calculation we are doing? So this is how we calculate this. උගලට මේව නෑ. මේ උගලට පකක් වෙන්න ඕන නිසා තමයි මේ slide show එක දැම්මේ. Right? Okay. Come වෙලාවක් තිබ්බොත් ඔබ Next we can move to the main results that we have discussed. The balance scorecard, right? Balance scorecard is we mainly consider it as a non-financial performance measurement tool, but it is not just non-financial; it has a financial component as well, right? So most of the organizations are using this balance scorecard to evaluate the performance, and also we are using it as a planning tool as well. In your examination, there will be 20 marks allocated for this particular lesson. The balance scorecard, and there will be a strategy map preparation. Either balance scorecard or strategy map preparation. So the main class practice industry company apply if you are generally, if you can have some kind of idea what should be included in different perspectives of the balance scorecard. What industry take after and general idea. Right. So before moving to the balance scorecard, so we develop balance scorecard based on strategies. So we have discussed previously what is strategy and what is management accounting. Then we discuss about strategic management accounting. Then one first accounting. The other one, the definition of strategic management accounting. Right. So there are no specific definitions. So how we can explain the strategic management accounting? Strategic management accounting के लिए आपको बहुत explain करना है. So strategic management accounting, we normally consider that if we identify some kind of a solution to the problems associated in the conventional management accounting, we can call it as strategic management account. And we have discussed that three different strategies, right? Corporate strategy, not discussed manufacturing strategy, right? By considering all the strategies, if we are developing a management accounting practice, that we also considers as strategic management accounting. Okay. So we discuss about strategies. Strategies, we have discussed that all the strategies should be unique. Strategies have a unique component. But majorly we can divide the strategies into two categories. One is product differentiation. The other one is the cost leadership. So there can be some more categories as well. Sometimes you might learn these things in marketing. Categories but generally we can divide into two categories. One is product differentiation, the other one is cost leadership. Product differentiation means ability to offer products perceived by its customers to be to be superior and unique. So it should be superior and unique relative to the products of its competitors. Again, product differentiation strategy का क्या है? When we are comparing with our competitors, we are able to produce more quality and a superior product compared to our competitors. Right? So the product differentiation strategy का use करना ना, it leads to the brand loyalty and the willingness of customers to pay higher prices. Right? Product hari service hari, if we are using the product differentiation strategy, it means we try to differentiate our products from our competitors' product. So the competitor product ready product we have to develop some new features for that particular product. Right? So the product differentiation strategy, normally if we are using this particular strategy, so we can improve the quality of the product, and most of the time if we are using the product differentiation strategy, our product price may higher than other competitors. So that we other features include the product का साधारण competitors का टवाटा generally आपके cost का वाली में selling price का we have to increase to gain some kind of a profit. Right. So this is one type of a strategy, and the other one make a money pattern. So we have cost leadership. In cost leadership strategies, we are not going to develop some new features, or we don't try to do some new products with our competitors. Competitors like product include product superior product right? In cost leadership, we try to reduce the cost, and then we can gain some kind of a profits over the competitors by having a lesser selling price, right? So ability to achieve lower cost related to the competitors through productivity and efficiency improvements, elimination of wastages and tight cost control. So if we can do this, we can have some lower selling prices, then our selling quantity may increase, right? Strategy එක්කෝ අපි ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක ඩෙවලොප් කරලා selling price එක වැඩි කරලා brand loyalty එක වැඩි කරලා sales වැඩි කරගන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්නම් same kind of a product we try to reduce the cost within our organization, and compared to our competitors we can have some lower selling prices, then also we can improve our quantities, the selling quantities, right? So those are the two basic strategies. So why I have explained those two strategies? Because when we are developing a balance scorecard, so as I earlier mentioned, balance scorecard is a planning tool and also a performance measurement tool. Balance scorecard first of all, we need to decide whether we are going in line with cost leadership strategy or the product differentiation strategy. Right? The balance scorecard we have to include different strategic objectives are there, measurements. So there are a lot of things. So develop first we need to consider whether we are in line with the cost leadership or the product differentiation strategy. Right? Okay. The performance measurement systems. This is not the balance scorecard, generally the performance measurement systems. So performance measurements is the process of collecting, analyzing, and or reporting information regarding the performance of an individual, group, organization, system, or component. So the performance measurement system this is a process, not a one-time activity. but most of the organizations they are doing it as a one-time activity. Performance measure කරන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට කොයි වෙලාවද last week is Europe. Normally most of the organizations are measuring the employees' performance at the end of the financial year. Bonus hari increment hari මොනවා හරි දෙන්න ඕන නම් ඒ වෙලාවට බලන්න. Right? But the performance measurement should be done throughout the financial year. You can හැමදාම මේක measure කර කර ඉන්න කියලා නෙමෙයි කියන්නේ. At least after 6 months or 3 months period, if organization can do this kind of a performance evaluation, then they can identify whether these employees are doing their progress, doing their processes properly or not. If not, they can give some kind of feedback and correct it within the financial year. If not, they have to wait till the end of the financial year and do the corrections, but those corrections will be applicable for next year, not this financial year. The balance scorecard is a process, not a one-time activity. For the performance measurements, even those should be a process throughout the financial year. We have to, right? The traditional performance measurements concentrated on the financial results, and because of that, so the traditional performance measurements are the things that we have discussed previously, the financial performance measurements, right? So those things are criticized because those things are just focused on the financial, right? So these are the reasons why those traditional financial performance measurements are criticized. So being biased towards the financial indicators විතරයි ඉතන calculate කරන්න. අපි හිතමු දැන් net profit එක මෙච්චරයි කියලා කියමු. If someone say net profit is this much, එතනින් එහාට අපිට එතනින් ගන්න පුළුවන් දැන් නැහැ මේක ගත්තේ කොහොමද මේක perform කරන්නේ employees ලා කොච්චර මහන්සි වුණාද නැද්ද anything so nothing we can identify from this, right? So then it probably lagging indicators. Lagging indicators means it is just short-term oriented, right? That is mentioned here as well. And it is being less flexible. Profits, non-profits. The explanations then the band, the profits is this much. Then being non-related to the strategies, right? That is what earlier I have explained. First of all, we need to identify which strategy that we are going to apply for this particular organization. So සමහර වෙලාවට financial indicators වලින් අපිට identify කරන්න බෑ organization එකේ strategy එක මොකක්ද. Right? Okay. වැඩි වෙලාවක් යන්න කලින් balance scorecard activity එකක් කරන්න අපිට පොඩ්ඩක් ඉදිමත එනවා මම දන්නවා. Right. So the balance scorecard. The balance scorecard was developed to communicate the multiple linked objectives. So there are different objectives in the balance scorecard, and under those multiple objectives, we are achieving multiple activities through the balance scorecard. And the balance scorecard translates an organization mission and strategy into a set of performance measures. And based on that, we are implementing a strategy. And it is called the balance scorecard because it balances the financial and non-financial performance measures. So there are financial performance measurements and the non-financial. That is why we call it as balance scorecard. So balance scorecard advocates mainly under 4 different perspectives. So under those 4 perspectives, we have 4 questions to be answered. මේ ප්‍රශ්න හතරට උත්තර හොයාගන්න පුළුවන් නම් we can easily develop the balance scorecard. So first one is, how do customers see us? So අපි දැනගන්න ඕන customers ලා අපිව මොන විදියටද දකින්නේ, right? So that we have to think, and based on that we have to do our activities. So this mainly So there are four perspectives. In this one, how do customers see us? Mainly we are discussing on the customer perspective, right? Then what must we excel at? When the organization देखे आपकी बहुत हमें practices कराना है. How we do our practices and what we can do better, right? अनेक organization में करना है कम आपने कराना है. So then we have to identify what we can do better, right? So this is the internal business process perspective. Then can we continue to improve and create values? This is coming under learning and growth perspective. And how should we appear to our shareholders? This is coming under financial perspective. So those are the four perspectives that we have, right? So this is the basic balance scorecard. I develop a free balance scorecard. I'll explain that later. So this is the basic balance scorecard. So these are the four questions that we have to answer. Okay, so here we can see those four perspectives. So in balance scorecard, this is the way of developing the balance scorecard. Balance scorecard is here, right? Balance scorecard is perspective, right? So in here, first we have to develop the learning and growth perspective, then internal business processes, customer, and then finally we have the financial perspective. So if we consider these four, we can see that these three perspectives are financial or non-financial. Financial to non-financial. These are non-financial perspectives. Then here we have the financial perspective, only one financial. Right? So it means in organization, when we are doing activities, we can't directly focus on the financial perspectives. We have to develop first the learning and growth perspective. It means, for an example, just think in organization, we are conducting some learning activities, like we are conducting some training programs. Right? Employees, the company employees. The training program conducted. So from that training program, that we can identify it as learning and growth perspective activity. From that learning and growth perspective activity, the training program, you might have learned something new. If you learn something new, what we can do? We can apply those new knowledge to internal business practices. The organization practices you can apply those things into internal business practice. Once you internally apply those things again and again, then you can improve the organizational processes. Then what is the result that we can get? We can develop our products or services properly, and we can serve the customers properly. Then it will go to the customer perspective, and we can have a proper customer satisfaction. If we have that customer satisfaction only, we can go for the financials and earn profits. If we are not focusing on developing employees or developing organizational practices, then we are not able to get the financial results. So most of the organizations are focusing on financial results, right? මේව ගැන හිතන්න නැතුව එකපාරට අපිට financially profits ගන්න ඕන කියලා හිතුවොත් මේව කරන්නේ නැති වුණොත් then we can't get. We can get, but it's for only for the shorter period of time. Right? So in balance scorecard, we consider these two. So these two perspectives as inputs for the balance scorecard. Right? Learning and growth perspective के आपको कहते हैं training programs की आपको हुआ, so we can do something new that employees can gain something new. So within the देवाल खराब ना हो, right? Internal business processes also the same thing. We have to do different activities within the organization, but if we focus on these two, मतलब आपने खराब देवाल दिया, here we can't do anything. The based on what we have done here, we will get results from customer perspective and financials. අපි මෙතන මේ දේවල් කරන තරමට තමයි customer satisfaction එකක් තියෙනවද? Based on that we can get financial results. So these things we call it as outcomes of the balance scorecard. Right? So this balance scorecard they are using as a not only the planning tool. We consider this as planning tool plus performance measurement. Right. So here we have different four perspectives. Under these four perspectives, we have different categories. So we have to develop strategic objectives first. First, we have to develop the strategic objectives, and then measurements for those strategic objectives. Initiatives. Target performance and actual performance. Right. So this is the balance scorecard. Balance scorecard එක විදිහට හදන්න. අපි බේසික් එක හිතන්න අපි ගොඩක් දේවල් ලියන්න තියෙනවා. අපි ඉල්ලන නිසා පොඩි හැදෙන්නේ. So in here ගොඩ මේක ලියාගන්න this is සම්පූර්ණ balance scorecard එකේ explanation එක විතර තියෙනවා. Right. So balance scorecard is a planning tool and a performance measurement tool, and we can divide into four categories, four perspectives. Learning and growth, internal business processes, customer and financial. And these two we can consider as inputs for the balance scorecard, and these two are the outcomes, and we can categorize as the financial and non-financials. And these are the things that we have to develop. Again, we have a perspective. So if we take financial perspective, you have to develop strategic objectives. Not just one, at least there should be three. Right? Related to those strategic objectives, there should be some measurements. Right? Then initiatives should be there. Target performance should be there, and the actual performance. For an example, just think here we have financial, customer, internal business processes, and learning and growth. For an example, just think in a learning and growth perspective. We have one strategic objective to let's say improve employee skills. Employees like skills develop करने का तो हमें strategic objective है. So what are the things that we can do here? What are the measurements? Sorry, the initiatives that we can do? Skills development. Let's say we can do conduct training programs. Right? How we can measure that we are conducting many training programs? Training programs measure करागिला बालन पुला measurement है उनका. Yeah, the training programs करागिला बालन पुला को. I identify how many number of training programs that we have conducted. The measurement should be number of training programs, right? Then we have to have some kind of a target performance. Let's say within this year, we have a target of conducting 4 training programs. Then at the end of the financial year, we can check. Let's say the actual performance is 3, whether we have achieved that or not, right? This is only one example. So likewise, we have developed each and every perspective like this. Clear on the other from the balance of actual balance of and strategic objectives, measurements, initiatives, target performance, actual. Initiatives, strategic objectives, measurements, initiatives, target performance, actual. Example लेके अपनी initiative में enhance employee skills. एक दिया था कुछ है तो बताइए इस तरह का चलता तो देख Right. So here you can see, so this is the actual balance scorecard. So this is given to what particular organization. The balance scorecard is going to be. So these are four perspectives: financial, customer, internal business processes, and the learning and growth. So when you are developing the balance scorecard, starting from learning and growth perspective, financial is the pattern, but it has some kind of a logic if you are starting from here. Because when you are putting some strategic objectives here, so these are the things should be reflected as a result in next perspective, right? Then make a link right? So you can identify here. Now here we have develop process skills. Your process skills develop correctly. You can have some kind of a initiatives like employee training programs. Take a measure over the percentage of employees trained during the year. And what is the percentage and what is the actual? The problem is you have to link this with the next perspective as well. So next we have the internal business processes. Right? That method training programs to make it a general, but you have to specifically provide this related to the industry that you are providing this balance scorecard. Now we can go for an example. You are developing a balance scorecard for a hospital. Private hospital later balance scorecard. So you are mentioning here empowering doctor skills. Hospital stakeholders. Doctors skills development strategic objective. And to do that, you are conducting some training programs, overseas training programs. Likewise, you are developing this. Whether doctors whether the nurse develop So if you are mentioning here doctors, right? For example, just think if you are mentioning here doctors, develop doctors, right? So whether nurse mention develop so that you have to make sure that within those within the perspective and when comparing with other perspective, there should be a proper link. There are link node. Right? And here for an example, if we go through this, you can see empowering workforce, develop process skills. So the best thing when you are developing the balance scorecard for any organization, start from the learning and growth perspective, right? And remember, there are major three things that we need to consider in learning and growth. Mainly, the employees of the organization, means the human resources, right? Then the infrastructures of the organization. The employees, infrastructures and organization, policies and procedures. Where thoda oglo focus karla metala learning and growth perspective එක හැදුවොත් then you can easily develop other things. එච්චරයි තියෙන organization එක ගත්තොත් human resources we have to develop, then infrastructure facilities we should develop. ඒ දෙක එකට develop කරගෙන ඉස්සරහට යනකම් organization should have proper policies and procedures. ඒ තුන ඔයගොල්ලෝ මෙතන develop කරන්න පුළුවන්, then you can easily develop the other things, right? So here you can see the this is also employee related thing, employee again the policies and procedures, the processes, enhance information system capabilities, this is infrastructure facilities, right? Whether I sell a then you can identify what are the initiatives that you can do to develop things and how you are going to measure it, right? And what should be the target. So this you can decide. Calculation and you can't develop this actual performance. Actual performance done. So when you are developing balance scorecard in examination or the situation, you can develop up to this point. Target performance right? So if you are developing up to target performance, then balance scorecard is working as a planning tool. Right? Make a plan. This normally we are developing for minimum 2 years or more than that. Or the Samani balance scorecard than bad. Balance scorecard shorter period of time we can't develop. So we say that within shorter period of time we can expect financial results from balance scorecard. Why? Then prospect of the United Uttara Duklo. Balance scorecard reduces managers' emphasis on short-term financial performance. Why? Balance scorecard reduces managers' emphasis on short-term financial performance. Again, balance scorecard managers balance scorecard is managers short-term financial performance balance scorecard other hari වෙන්න එපා ඒක වයි කියලා අහලා දිනනවා නම් මේක හරිනේ නේද ඒමානිස්තන් පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ හරි ඒතර ඇයි එහෙම කියන්නේ why managers can't focus on short term financial performance if they are using balance scorecard. Yes, it's a planning tool. So using planning tool we are developing. So it says that by using that particular planning tool, we can't expect financial results in a short-term period. Right? Organization mission, okay. In the long term, right? Okay. So I have to make a bag here. Balance scorecard take perspectives හතර තියෙන විදිය ඔළුවට ගත්තොත් ඒක develop කරන්න පුළුවන්. First what we have learning and growth perspective. Next internal business process. Next what we have customer perspective, and finally financial perspective. Right. Just think that we discussed that in learning and growth perspective, we are focusing on employees, then processes, and also infrastructure facilities. Take example like we have the training program, right? Assume that you are the employees and you are developing. So I am providing you a training program. Other training program they can learn karpu deval. Can you apply quickly from tomorrow onwards? It will take some time to learn those things properly. And to apply in the organizational processes, it means the internal business processes, to develop internal business processes, it will take longer period of time. Right? ඊට පස්සේ ඔක organization එක ඇතුලේ හරියට practice වෙලා to reflect in customers perspective. ඒ කියන්නේ customers ලාට මේකේ message එක යනවා මේ organization එක දැන් develop වෙලා. Then they are coming again and again to our organization because of the customer satisfaction. ඒක කරන්න, ඒක වෙන්න ගොඩක් කාලයක් යනවා. එකපාරටම අද training program එකක් තිබ්බ ගමන් හෙට customers වලට දෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? So you have to learn those things and apply in organization practices, and practices should be developed further, and then those things will be the messages will be going to the customer side. The customer that look at the car make products, right? Make look services. Then again and again customers will come. Right? Then the customer satisfaction happens. After that, to get the financial results, it will take another period of time. So the balance scorecard can be सामान्य short run financial performance focus करने दें. So this is focusing on long run. If we do something new in the learning and growth perspective, to reflect those things in internal business process, it will take longer period of time. So the results, when we are getting from the customer perspective, it will take another period of time. The financial results at least it will take 2 years or more than that. Right? That is why we say the balance scorecard is not focusing on short-run financial performance. Short-run financial performance, so this is more sustainable because we are developed. We just not focusing on the financials. So profits we develop from the bottom of the organization. We have given employees the new knowledge, the infrastructure facilities there, right? Processes are there. So we have developed our non-financial factors step by step. Then only we are focusing on the financial. So organization even though it will take longer period of time to earn profits, it will sustain for some 5, 6 or 10 years. We can get the profits. So that is why this we call it as a long run financial performance measurement tool and also the long run planning tool. Right? Okay, so here you can see so different strategic objectives. Right? And learning and growth. Next, internal business processes. So if we take for an example here, reduce delivery time to customers. So that is our strategic objective. Right? Then initiatives, re-engineer order delivery process. So that right? Then how we can measure through the order delivery time. So this is our target. Actual then finally, the customer perspective mostly should be the customer satisfaction. And you can see here difference between these two perspectives and these two. So in internal business process and learning and growth, there are a lot of information compared to these two. Right? Sections මේ perspective එකේ තියෙන්නේ දෙකයි. අනිත් දෙකේ තියෙනවා 6ක් 7ක් විතරවත් තියෙනවා. Why is that? These are the outcomes of the balance scorecard, right? To get these outcomes, we have to do a lot of inputs. So, product activities කරලා තමයි අපි මේ results ගන්න ඕනේ. අපි කරන activities අඩු වෙලා මෙතන ගොඩාක් ගන්න එපා. සමහර balance scorecard සඳහාදී ළමයි කරන වැරද්ද. Internal business processes and learning and growth. එක line එකයි නැත්නම් දෙකයි. මේකේ තියෙනවා හිතන ගොඩක්. එහෙම results ගන්න බෑ. Right? So that practically එක හිතලා දාන්න. Right. So here the financial perspective you can mention the growth, operating income, or increase net profit. Right. So the increase net profit කියලා දාන්න. Let's say our target, the strategic objectives under financial perspective is increase net profit. Then what is the measurement? Net profit take increase करना मोबाइल measure. ये इसी प्रश्न का net profit take increase करना ना measurement है वो. हमें उत्तरे दिला net profit එක increase වෙලා නැද්ද කියලා බලන්න කොහොමද? මේකේ expenses ටික අඩු කරලා මොකද බලන්න net profit එක වැඩි වෙලාද නැද්ද කියලා බලන්න පුළුවන් net profit එකකින්. එතනින් එහාට මොකද නැහැ. Right? එතකොට ඒකේ measurement එක වෙන්න ඕනේ it should be net profit ratio. That's it. Right? ये अभी तो वो अभी दूर मारेंगे वो दूर में एक्सट्रा किला क्या है मनोय मीटर 70 किलोमीटर ये मेजरमेंट का था मेथड तो नेट प्रॉफिट रेशियो अगर अडिबलाल रहते कि लगा नेट प्रॉफिट कोलिंग में तरह लंका समार लाट दूर महीने का रास्ता लंका दूर महीने मनोय आज सामान्य दूर महीने मनोय किलोमीटर से है ना ලංකාවේ දුරමයිනේ කාලේ. දැන් මෙතනදා කවුරු යවුවොත් එහෙම මෙතනදා 100කට යන කොච්චර දුරද කියලා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ උත්තරේ හම්බෙන්නේ කිලෝමීටර්ස් වලින්ද නැත්නම් විනාඩි වලින්ද? විනාඩි වලින් අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කියන්නේ මෙතනදා 100කට යන විනාඩි 15ක් විතර එයි. ඒක යහමින් මෙතනදා පොඩ්ඩට යන කොච්චර දුරද කියලා අහුවොත් විනාඩි 20ක විතර දුර කියලානේ. ඒක දාන්න එපා මේක. මේක දාන්න හරි මෙෂර්මන්ට් එක දාන්න. right. පොඩි බ්‍රේක් එකක් කරගෙන then we can develop balance.
Yes, please.
Inorganic member.
Right, okay. So we'll start. Without a chance, I'm going to discuss the balance scorecard. The balance scorecard preparation will done next week. Next week. So I'll explain in the balance scorecard lesson. So we have two outcomes. One is the balance scorecard preparation. The other one is the strategy map preparation. So this is the strategy map. The strategy map also we are using as a planning tool. This is kind of a summarized version of the balance scorecard. Balance scorecard we have strategic objectives, initiatives, measurements, target performance, in detail. Here we are not including like that. This is kind of a map, like a mind map. The different four perspectives based on the balance scorecard. Balance scorecard එක හදලා ඉවරනාට පස්සේ මේක හදන එක ලේසි. So the easiest method is first we have to develop the balance scorecard, and in balance scorecard we identify different strategic objectives. Already like we have strategic objectives දාගන්නවා. Those strategic objectives we have to include here, right? So the main thing are खाली balance scorecard එක හදලා තිබ්බේ strategic objectives ටික තමයි මෙතේ. So we can easily include under different perspectives, learning and growth, internal business, customer and financial perspective. Make a ඉස්සෙල්ලාම arrows පුදා first we can include those strategic objectives separately. Right? So internal business process also, all the strategic objectives we have included here. Making include but that should be in line with those strategic objectives. Strategic objectives in the balance scorecard, it has learning and growth. Under learning and growth, there are three strategic objectives. A strategic objectives you can improve further and include 5 or 6, no issues. Right? So either you have to get all the strategic objectives included in the balance scorecard as it is, or you can divide into 2 or 3. That is also possible. Or you can include something new, but it should be highly relevant to that you have the strategic objectives that you have included in the balance scorecard. Right? Even Galle. So that is first thing. So once you include those things, you can develop. Right? So then once you include all the strategic objectives under 4 perspectives, then you have to link those things. Right? So when you link make a strategic objective become how link just once you go through these strategic objectives, you can identify that once we empower the workforce, we can improve the process. Then you can put a link. Right? If you feel that while empowering the workforce, we can improve the, as a result of this, you can improve the processes and we can align the employees and organizational goals together. That also you can do. Right? Make a link rules and regulations, limitations, you can include. Make a rational theory. Make a graph, make a development law. Right? And within the perspective, actually, or link or you can link to the next perspective. Right? Make actually link ultimately next perspective, you should link it. Right? Link the bad financial perspective. So that you have to do. Okay. So you can't skip any perspective and go directly. In some situations we can. So if you can see here, this is directly going to this perspective. Make a parallel. But just think, here we have empowering the workforce. And if you are directly put an arrow like this and increase the shareholder value, that is not possible. Right? Again, we have perspective, the workforce empower, if we can directly increase the shareholder value, no point of doing these things. Make it current node, make it directly make a current node. Once we empowering the workforce, then there are different activities we can improve. Ultimately, we can improve the final one. So to skip karala, we can go like this. So that you have to make sure when you are developing the strategy map. Right? And another one, you can start any strategic objectives from the customer perspective and account. Then we learning and growth and also the internal business processes. Link you can't start anything from the customer perspective. Why is that? Customer perspective is what? That is the output from the balance scorecard. So output input output expect. So therefore you have to somehow link those two that make a whether we can fill up the note. So this is not started from here, right? This is a result of this increased customer satisfaction. This is not originally developed here. This is developed based on these things, right? Then may anostic mukut manatu. Itni kabar start karna. Ye start karna puluan na. Api me kisi mudak karna avashyam nahi. So therefore, when you are developing the balance scorecard, try to link as much as possible. Try to put those arrows, and finally you have to select one final strategic object. Then make it up to grow operating income and finally increase the shareholder value. Or you can identify, improve profit. So whatever the thing, you have to decide what should be the ultimate objective of this. So then, we have a couple drive line. Right? So the balance scorecard so once we develop the balance scorecard, then developing the strategy map is easy because we have already identified those strategic objectives. Then we can put all the strategic objectives here. If we want, we can develop further, and then you just have to put those arrows and develop this strategy map. Right. So this is a summarized version of the balance scorecard, providing some kind of a mind map to the employees. Because if we take the balance scorecard document, summary balance scorecard document, it is not freely available in the organization to each and every employee to access. About to make access that because it has each and every target and measurements, everything is there. This kind of a confidential information. You can't see the balance scorecards in annual reports as well. Website take a well, but in some situations you can see this, right? This is providing some kind of a guidance how they are operating their organization. Internal organization all employee to make a idea how they are going to do those activities. What is the ultimate objective? So the accounting and people that can make a pay no organization plan. But if we provide the balance scorecard, the detailed balance scorecard to let's say the marketing or HR department, they will not identify each and every component. They don't need to identify each and every component as well. Right? So therefore, this is the summarized version of the balance scorecard. We call it as a strategy map. So the balance scorecard is our exam. Balance scorecard dekak strategy map dekak taking ekak aniwaren wenawa. What the next strategy map the balance scorecard. Make a lazy, but to develop these things, the strategy map balance scorecard dekak kuda kiyawana the easiest thing is to develop the strategy balance scorecard. Right? So next week we'll develop the balance scorecard. Because the balance score, not only the scorecard, we are going to do this particular exam. May exam में अक्तर में हमारू exam में कब नहीं हमारे वेलाम हम क्या ना लिया exam में पेपर करने जाता है वो बोलते लिया ना जेवा बुलाती है ना टाइम में तो आती है ऐसा में strategy map पे जो balance scorecard है then we will answer already you know these things ये design exam so you can practice कर ले कि आपके पास है then when you go to the exam you can read what is the situation. You have to develop the balance scorecard for this particular industry. So if you have in your mind, okay, these are the things you have to include the balance scorecard. Directly you can include relevant to that particular. So just read the specific information, right? So in this particular examination, you might have balance scorecard or the strategy map. Investment appraisals will be there, activity-based costing, CVP, decision trees, payout tables, so you exam so good practice exams it's a exam advanced management accounting exam. उनको पालन करा का आपने देखे का ध्यान रखोगा ये वाले पालन कर लाओ खाली है ना अंतिम में पेपर का डालना मतलब लिया है ऐसा टाइम में तो मैंने इस तरह का मैं नंदिता को क्लास के एक्चुअली इस तरह का ये बात लगा दिया गया मैं प्रैक्टिस का बैलेंस प्रोफाइल तो मैं देने के लिए इतना ही दिन दे रहा है directly you can complete. Right. So we'll stop from here and we'll do the balance scorecard preparation next week. And we'll discuss, we'll finalize the assignment over the next week. So